Welcome back to Lenz Comic Corner, Classic Classic Known Classics. This is episode number 1537, Doubleshot number 1431. Like I said, like the last video, one DC trade, one Marvel trade. First up, it is a book that I think a lot of people were expecting me to cover this one, due to the fact it's a follow-up to Heroes in Crisis. Flash Forward by Scott Lobdell and Brett Booth. This miniseries is a focus on Wally West. Yes, Wally West. It's simply what he was up to after the events of Heroes in Crisis. A miniseries that got a lot of flack. And from what I have heard, Tom King received death threats for that miniseries. I knew about death threats he got for Batman 50. I did not know about the death threats he got for doing Heroes in Crisis. Clay Mann, I think they ignored him because it's not his fault. People blame Tom King for the events of that miniseries, where you have a bunch of superheroes who pop up in that book, a lot of whom have not been seen since pre-Flashpoint. I think like a couple of them have not been seen since pre-Crisis, like the Protector, where you bring them in and then you kill them off for like no reason. There's a pure shock value. Heck, one of the biggest deaths, and a lot of people took a lot of hate with this when I heard, was there was an issue cover of the book where they implied they were going to kill off Poison Ivy. They did, and then she came back at the end of the miniseries. And what was the murder mystery? What caused these people's deaths? Wally West tried to create his own version of Flashpoint, just to bring back his family. Yep. That was the reason for it. So, Wally West turned into a villain. I kind of agree with the opinion on this, that turning him into a villain was turning him into like an unintentional murderer was a terrible idea. Especially one of the biggest characters who died in that story was Roy Harper. Though they brought him back in Infinite Frontier as a Black Lantern. Yep, so Wally West is in jail for murdering a lot of his friends. And then he's visited by this guy here, Temptress. Yep, anybody thinking, who the heck is this guy? You can kind of think of him as DC's version of the Watcher, except he's from the Multiverse. And believe it or not, guess who created this guy? And you will be shocked to hear me say his name. Dan DiDio created this character. Really? Dan DiDio created him? Well, there's a reason for that. Because his first appearance was in the series Sideways. Yep, Sideways. He was around for 3 years until the writer of Future State Suicide Squad killed them off. Well, the story featuring Black Adam. Yeah, Jeremy Adams killed him off. Do not know why they decided to kill him off for, but that's basically what they did with the character. Anyways, yes. So, basically, Wally is broken out of prison. Yes, he is broken out of prison by Tempest Fugue to deal with stuff in the multiverse. Yeah, so Anyways, yes. So he breaks out and basically then he runs into the Black Superman, the President's Superman, the one who's the president of the United States in his own world. And he also runs into the Justice League of America in that world on Earth 43. Yep. And, well, all because Wally's a speedster. And also, the Mobius chair makes an appearance. Now, the Mobius chair itself had not made an appearance since Jeff Johns wrapped up his run for Justice League. Aside from the first couple issues, basically we have Wally fighting his own villains, the Flash villains, in, I think it's Iron Heights. Then he meets up with Tempest Fugue. And he puts on his costume again, even though he says he doesn't want to put it on again because of what he did. And that's when he runs into the Black Superman. Yep. So, basically deal with like various creatures. And then we have the Justice League of America, where we have Steel's part of the team along with Vixen, Wonder Woman, who looks like she's black, and Batman. Look at him. He looks like the Earth 2 Batman. The original Earth 2 Batman post-Flashpoint. Yeah, he looks exactly like pretty much almost the same costume. Well, mostly the same bat symbol. The suit itself was loosely inspired by the Jim Lee costume. Oh, if you're curious though, when was the first time that President Superman first showed up? It was actually in Superman Volume 3, Issue 12. An issue didn't feature the regular Superman and all. That's when he first showed up. Yep. And so they deal with the threat with the multiverse. Yeah, this actually I kind of like. I think this is actually pretty fun for what it is. And we also deal with the actual return of Wally West's kids. And he goes into the world. He runs into the Justice League of Vampires. And Superman and Flash is like, holy Superman! But why? Why am I Superman, or why am I a vampire? Both, really. Why did you try our people? Why did you pour those people onto the street? Because my people must be fed. Okay? And of course he beats up him and kills this vampire. And of course then he fires a vampire Flash, who at one point puts a hat for some reason. Then he gets killed by Roy Harper. And Brett Booth basically uses the design that he gave Roy Harper during his run for Titans. Yep, with big goggles and basically no longer wearing the trucker hat, but pretty much the same outfit. Even drive a red car. It's just so fun. And you have them pop up at the Batcave, runs into Vampire Batman. Yeah, this miniseries I found to be pretty fun to read. And then he also runs into the Super Demon Etrigan. So funny. Yep. And then he runs into, kind of looks like Starfire, but really isn't. So, yeah, a lot of multiverse stuff. And he runs into a woman named Lightspeed, who looks like Linda Park. It's Linda. Yep. So it's just an older version of her, and he wants his Linda back, and then he reunites with his kids. And they're like, run from who? And then we have a flashback to when Wally got his powers, when he accidentally recreated the actual thing. And then we have Tempest basically just telling Wally, get in the chair. Get in the Mobius chair. Yep. And that's pretty much what he does last few issues, trying to fight to get in the chair. And then eventually he does in the final issue. And with his kids back, though he hasn't reunited with his wife yet per se, he gets in the chair. And, well, then, of course, Iris and Jay reunite with their mom. And then the miniseries ends with him basically being now the guy in the Mobius chair. And then we have the Generation Zero, which is basically an epilogue one shot they threw in here, a couple chapters, which details his time witnessing a lot of stuff, like the formation of the Teen Titans, the original version of the group, Wally getting his costume as the Flash, and then we see the Spectre versus Antimatter Crisis of Earths, Parallax Hal Jordan, the Reign of the Superman, the Nightfall, like a lot of so basically it goes from the 80s to 90s to like 2011. You remember the JSA. Then we have the League of Superheroes, which I think that these pages are so cool on the part of Brett Booth to do. It seems like, yeah, they just basically threw this in just because people want to see him. You could say it's fan service, but good fan service. And he had this really cool page of the Teen Titans to the verge of the original 60s version and the 2011 version. Which I think is so cool, the fact that he did this. And then we have the Flash family pre- and post-Flashpoint. Which, more awesomeness. Show up various things, and of course, more Generation Zero stuff. Yeah, it's mostly like the ending of this leads into Dark Knight Death Metal. Yep, that's what it leads to. And that's it for this one. Yep. I gotta say, really good. I give this one a 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, this series is good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, just a really good series. Nothing really bad about this one per se, but basically in the case of this feud, this would kind of lead into the events of Dark Knight's Metal and Flash 150. Oh, 750, excuse me. Yep, that leads to 750, and eventually, of course, also stuff related to later. Oh yeah, just story from Flash 750 with the flash forward stuff. Yep. But that's basically what's material for 750. Alright, moving on to a different book. This is from Matthew Rosenberg. I believe this is the only Star Wars book I can think of he's done. This is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Dark Temple. Now, I'm not all familiar with the story of Jedi Dark Temple, but in the case of this miniseries, it's definitely good. I would definitely like to play it, but the thing is, it'll be eventually. Now, the placement of this miniseries looks like it's during the Galactic Civil War, based on the fact we see Stormtroopers here, and we see an Inquisitor. Because they just were the start of the Galactic Civil War, just basically have a couple of Jedi left behind, and flashbacks to the Jedi Council. There's not really much else. I can't really say much about the series, purely because the characters are not recognizable. Like, I'm sorry if you're a big fan of the Jedi Fallen Order. Me personally, I've never played it, so I have no opinion on it at all. This miniseries is just basically a couple of Jedi just going on a mission for basically this whole series. It's good, definitely. I think Matthew Rosenberg does a good job with it. I think the artwork is good, but I don't know who these people are. Aside from the fact I saw Yoda and Mace Windu, I have no idea who these two are. It's just that we have a black one being apprenticed to a white guy. Yeah. Now, aside from seeing Mace Windu and, of course, Yoda, is there any other character I'm familiar with? Well, aside from seeing Stormtroopers. Let's see. Oh, the Jedi Temple is here. No, not really. There's not much really here to say about this one. Nope, not really. It's a good miniseries, definitely, but it's not something I would recommend unless, of course, you played the Dark Order video game, the Jedi Fallen Order video game. That's who I recommend this to. Or I recommend Star Wars fans only play that video game. So, yeah, it's an okay miniseries. The story I thought was okay. I didn't have much opinion on it at all. The only reason why I reviewed it, because Matthew Rosberg wrote it. That's the only reason why. I'm gonna give the book. I'm gonna be fair to it. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It's not because of the bad story. No, because of the put the game. That's simple. It's simple the reason for it. And you're probably thinking, why did you review it? Because Matthew Rosberg wrote it. That's why. Okay, so that's it for review. Next one will definitely be Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Okay, next video. Bye.